Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our first meeting in the great year 2023. The first agenda on the first agenda is nomination of appoint temporary chair. That said, I'd like to appoint Stephanie as temporary chair. We have a second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Stephanie, thank you.
I'll nominate Marco.
I'll second.
Any other nomination? So we have to close nominations.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor of Marco for chair?
Aye.
You want me to continue with the reorg or do you want to take over?
No,
He's
continue.
the chair now,
Continue.
right?
Yeah, I'm the chair.
Vice chair.
I'm on my Jim Scanzillo.
I'll second.
Right. All those in favor of Jim Skins, oh, sorry, motion to close nominations for vice chair.
Motion moved.
Marco and Teresa. All those in favor of Jim Scanzillo for vice chair?
Aye.
Are there any nominations for the position of secretary?
I would nominate Deborah and Don. She's not here, right? Isn't that what you're supposed to do? Pick people who aren't here. Except for Marco.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay.
Second, there you go.
Are there any other nominations for secretary? Motion to close nomination?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor of Deborah and Don for secretary?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, back to business. All right, well, the second item on the agenda is 180 New Britain. Approval of the minutes from October 25th of 2022. Did everybody get a chance to review the minutes? Are there any corrections or amendments? If not, looking for the motion to approve the minutes.
I'll motion to approve.
Do we have a second? I'll second. All in favor? All opposed? All right, means are approved as written with no corrections. Third item on the agenda, 180 New Britain Boulevard, sketch plan. They're expanding the parking lot. For those who remember, they were here about 6 months ago, I want to say. Yeah, 6 months ago. And they want to expand the parking lot behind the Flex warehouse.
Yep.
So I'll give you the floor. If you confuse yourself in the project, that'd be great.
Lane, which is the same industrial park. So just a refresher, this is the existing building that they're occupying and using. We will before you for the minor land development plans to add additional parking along here to their facility. Since then, they actually purchased this parcel along Schoolhouse Road to expand. As you can recall, there is not any trailer parking spaces on the facility. It's just the 3 loading docks that exist currently. So they're not able to store any trailers. So in purchasing this lot, they're able to expand some, there's actually 18 trailer parking spaces through that lot. And then they're proposing the addition of 43 additional parking spaces, which is just a continuation of those along Schoolhouse Road. They're also proposing 5 additional loading docks along the back side of the building that will be utilized on the same wall as the existing loading docks currently used. So at this point, we're just before you at the sketch plan phase to get feedback from you on the plan. We do have a long haul here with zoning variances that we know that we need. One of the main ones we need is impervious coverage. The other is the building setback. Your zoning ordinance requires 20 feet, and we're 13 feet away from this building corner. And there was a few other zoning sections that potentially might come into play for zoning variances. So we do know that we need to go before them to seek variances for that. But basically, it's a straightforward project in that we're just expanding an existing lot. We will need to discuss as part of the 180 New Britain project, we had some conservation easements that we were required to place in the plans. But now that we purchased this lot, we would like to expand within that conservation district easement or conservation easement here, but do a swap where we have additional areas here that we have existing trees that we could utilize. So that's something we know that we have to go before the Board of Supervisors on in order to proceed forward with this plan. We will need to get an NPDS permit as will be over an acre of disturbance, so we'll be looking for that. And then we plan for underground infiltration basins similar to what we provided on the parking lot that's currently under construction. Anything you'd like to add?
This is kind of twofold. You know, now that we own the Schoolhouse Road property, we're able to consolidate them, kind of clean up the lot lines, be able to expand to the most that we can really on this property. It's part function of the user inside would like more dock doors, has always wanted some more dock doors. So we're able to add that at this point, make the building, you know, a little bit more rentable or leasable down the road. And then just adding more car parking as the tenant's business expands, they may need some more parking spaces. So it just kind of makes sense that we can fully loop the building now and make that connection on the rear side. So that's just kind of a high level of what we're looking to do and advance it.
And those 18 parking spots in the back for, are we talking 18 wheelers? Are we talking?
Yeah, so the trailers that they're currently using, they use the big flatbed trailers and they load the pods on. This is being utilized by PDM. So they load their pods on those trailers.
The
for
kitchen,
distribution.
bathroom guys.
Yeah, bathroom pods is what they're making, some small kitchen pods for apartment facilities. So yeah, that's what they need to line the trailers up and stack them on there. They actually drive them in the plant, they load a lot in the plant. And then use the drive-in door on the side as well to get them in and out, but they use the dock space as well.
So the 18 parking spots would be for a permanent storage overnight?
Well, no, they would be used for, you know, you would use typical trailer for. They don't have their pods on that they're ready to ship out. Might have materials that they're bringing in, you know, they get truckload deliveries of their steel tubing and everything they use, all the bathroom fixtures and everything. So it'll be surely for their business in and out.
But they won't be stored there, the trailers.
Well, no, the trailers would be stored in those the parking spaces.
On a permanent basis. Yeah, that's what he's getting at.
Yeah.
Permanent basis.
So they're gonna be trailers there on a permanent basis.
Yeah.
Will you get a chance to review the Gilmore letter? And then you purchased lot number 1,
Yes,
and you're proposing to dedicate that to open space to meet the requirements that were set on the additional parking on the left there.
so the property line between would be extinguished. We would combine those lots together for one overall tract. And we would, gain some of the green space that lot affords us. You know, but we're gonna be using part of it to extend the trailer parking into as well.
And is there any plan to buffer Schoolhouse Road from your parking lot?
Yeah, so there's an existing buffer already that we're gonna try to maintain along here. So you can, it's kind of hard to see on the plans, but it extends off of our property here along Schoolhouse Road. But this is a pretty healthy buffer along here. So our plan is to conserve this as much as possible. In here, this is more, I would say, true, like deciduous trees. They're not an evergreen buffer. So a part of our land development plan, not shown on this, we would show some screening along here, along the Schoolhouse Road. It would be supplementing the conservation easement areas.
It was a residential property, so, you know, a lot of that area through there was lawn and more larger deciduous trees. Wasn't really a buffer that they had created along their frontage. But yeah, we'll supplement that as part of the land development process.
I mean, unfortunately, our engineers are not here this evening, but it seems like there's a lot of additional parking spots, and especially on the truck side. And they would still be coming in from,
Existing driveway off of New Britain Boulevard, and that would be the only area that the trucks would enter and leave from. The employee parking would remain on the second floor of the building. We would put signs here prohibiting truck traffic going through, making this visible as we get back out.
and the 18 trucks are based on, I guess, you guys did a study on how many trucks you need there?
It's partially based on need and partially based on what available space we have there. That it kind of lines up, you know, nice across from the docks, and then what can we fill in that makes sense, you know, to utilize the space we have back there.
Questions? I know one of my concern would, if this goes through, definitely buffer it. The truck space, heavy buffer. So they're not visible from Schoolhouse Road.
Yeah, that residential property didn't really have any buffering.
Yeah, there's not much buffer.
Driveway and.
I mean, that would just be a recommendation, of course.
If we would obviously take a look at the requires and how that fits into what's existing there, and you know how we can adequately screen those views.
It's the detention area.
How close are the requirements for a neighbor notification? Like a half a mile or
Feet, I think it is.
half a mile?
It's about 1,000. Tells me.
Extremely low. I tell you that. They're extremely low.
You think?
Yeah.
That's not even a half a mile. 1,000 feet is,
Yeah, typically it's just immediately adjacent property.
oh,
And there just tends to be a lot, like we sent, for this project, we sent out 93 notification letters, because unfortunately, we have this huge development here that.
Yep.
You get, you have to,
so
you
row
have to
houses.
notify all those people, and not one person showed up.
But most of them are rentals. Townhouses are rentals. The townhouses for sale and the houses are further down. I mean, again, this would be one of my immediate concerns, would be to try to protect Schoolhouse Road. There are some residentials across the street. And I'm sure that they don't want to look at trailers.
And just a reminder. School-
Correct.
So they would be seeing additional truck traffic related to that all goes through the Newbury business. But we can definitely look at, you know, how this would be used.
It would be a 365-day buffer, like evergreens.
Similar to what's along Treewick Town Road and school. The parking, they do a really nice job of screening.
We had looked at, you know, does it make sense to put a connection out on the Schoolhouse so we have a more through area, and we decided that that was not desirable from our operation standpoint. From the Schoolhouse, you know, the intersection up here is not the best. Sight distance isn't great. We just decided it was made sense to keep everything within the development on New Britain Boulevard. You know, we're already upgrading that entrance out there. project. So it just makes sense to keep it all, within and not connect to Schoolhouse.
Well, I don't think that would have been proved, but it's Schoolhouse is no truck road. We have a lot of parks on Schoolhouse Road too. We're trying to conserve that as best we can. Really nice park. Any other questions, concerns?
No, that, I mean, really buffering was the only thing I,
It's,
I mean, I can't get into the certain impervious surfaces are not, that's up to the engineers to do.
If we know,
Right.
leave the back to get to be, but there was nothing totally major that we need to talk about today. Obviously, buffer that we didn't get to that level here, but it will be represented on the future land.
It's 60 foot. How long's an 18-wheeler?
If you do a day cab, 65
really,
with the day cab, and that's what most of these are. They're not.
But this is for the trailer only, so they'll disconnect the
And where is the truck to be stored?
that.
The truck will pick up another trailer.
So you guys load the trailers and then the truck comes by, picks up the trailer, brings the trailer back.
Brings it empty, takes one that's loaded.
So they'll let get them on the truck. The truck is going to pick it up, at 10 o'clock, and then it goes, and then they'll come back and load it up again with another delivery. So they stage their deliveries on these, or as they mentioned, there's a deep product delivery that may be stored in particular.
We're under the understanding that the storage will be trailers only.
Yes.
Yeah, their finished product, if they're sitting on a trailer, it's only gonna be for like a night, because they don't want to get them. They don't want to have malexposed fish, especially at the winter time.
And what's the distance on the north point to the Schoolhouse Road? No, the proposed trailers on the left. Yeah, yeah. What's the distance to Schoolhouse?
And then the whole way, there's a large right of way through here. So the actual roadway is probably about 30 feet from, so it'd be about 50 feet away, I would call
Yeah, I'd say it's about 50 from the end of the road.
Yeah. it. So it's hard to say. The property line is probably about 20, but from the edge of the road, it's about 50. So you have more than ample room to provide buffer in this area.
I just thought that was a great use of that property. Like, acquiring that.
What, lot one?
What's that?
Lot one.
Is that what the former resident?
yeah, that's what they're-
Yeah, I mean, it was just kind of like a awkward place for the residents to be and perfect for your use. I just thought that was brilliant. Snag that place.
Providing you guys meet all the, zoning and what the engineers require. I mean, I think our concern was the buffer. I mean, anything else or public comments? You sure?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're great in the past with you guys, so it's
Yeah, we appreciate your process and wanted to come and have a discussion about it, so appreciate it.
all right. Well, thank you very much. Enjoy your evening.
Have a great evening.
Yeah, I thought this was a lot changed.
All right, other business, and I apologize. I'd like to introduce Dave Conroy. I'm sorry, Conroy. Dave's going to be the Director of Planning and Director of Zoning. I know. And you came from Plymouth Township. And basically Dave's gonna oversee all the zoning and planning in basically one area, which is, I think it's could be very helpful that he's gonna be able to do both. Sean.
Excellent.
We'll see what happens.
Well, basically, he's gonna oversee both at the same time. It's gonna make it, I think, more efficient.
I didn't even know we had a position.
When we created.
Who did?
Oh,
Okay.
Just created the position.
Oh, all right.
At Mark's suggestion, that was part of his reorg.
And Ryan, you're still gonna stay assistant zoning, right?
No, Ryan, the planning, big ticket item or something, I'll be here, or if you request that I'm here, you tell me whatever you feels appropriate. Your service.
So your job description is gonna be, you're gonna be on the front lines.
Pretty much, like I'll oversee all the zoning and land development and subdivision in the township, as well as the building department. Code enforcement, stuff like that. So anything that's dealing with the codes, I'm overseeing. So it's pretty much. So I don't like to use the word oversee, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
What's your background? Zoning?
Yeah,
primarily?
graduated master's for in geography. The zoning officer, 14 years at Plymouth, so yeah.
Well, my son's in Westchester right now. And I don't know what he's majoring in, but. Just kidding, just kidding. It's a great school. It's a good school. But well, welcome to the township. It's a great township. We all enjoy living here. Small township, but very, very scenic and I certainly like it.
You wouldn't need somebody for that job, though.
Yeah.
No.
Whatever it takes to run more efficiently, right? All right, well, with that said, need a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting adjourned. And then
Wait for you guys. No, I